So this is the directions for this assignment here. The first part's pretty easy. You go to this website here, the Ask a Biologist from Arizona State University, and you read about camouflage, and it introduces the peppered moth. So this right here is the peppered moth, and the peppered moth, when you talk about evolution or natural selection, this is the evidence that comes up more often. There's a ton of evidence for evolution and natural selection, but the reason that the peppered moth comes up so often is because of when it occurred. It happened in starting in the 1800s, like mid to late 1800s, and then there was a big change in the 1950s with the peppered moth. So the reason that we talk about the peppered moth is because humans saw it happen in a recent time period. So there are people who saw this happen, who had typewriters, who could record this information, and so it's just very well studied and it's recent, and so this is why this comes up more often than other examples. So you're going to read about this here. It'll introduce the story of the light moth and dark moth. So then you're going to do the actual activity. So that's here, this next link, you're going to click that. You get this. So you get late forest, dark forest. So what happened in the 1800s is the Industrial Revolution, and that introduced pollution, and pollution changed the trees. You can see the dark here. This is how they originally look. Then they picked up a lot of soot and ash from the factories, and they changed color, and this had an effect on lots of organisms, but the one here we're talking about is the peppered moth. So what you do is you click on light forest, and you are the bird, so your mouse controls the bird, and you're flying around here, and then you click on a moth and you eat it. Okay, and you want to just eat as many moths as you can. You don't have to pick out one particular color. If you get a chirping sound like that, that means you missed. So I do see like more of the dark ones, so they're a little bit easier to eat. The moth there? No. So but grab whatever. If you see the light colored ones, then you can eat those. And the moths, they sit on the trees during the day. They don't fly during the day. They're just supposed to hang out on the tree, but you can see a moth sitting on the tree. Like you can see one sitting here, and it's hard to see. It's not impossible, but it's hard to see. And if you're a bird who doesn't have amazing vision, that moth may be completely invisible to you, as long as they don't move. You can see when they move, it's a little bit easier to see them. And occasionally you'll see dark ones and light ones. And then in the end, you'll get this result here. And so it told me how many moths I ate. The forest started out 50-50, and right now it's not 50-50. It's 80-18. So way more light moths than dark moths, but that's what you'd predict, right? The light moths can blend in with the light trees, and the dark moths were a lot easier to see. And this is natural selection. This is exactly what we're talking about this week. If you have an organism that is better able to survive in an environment, in this case the light moths, then that organism will become more common because nature, in this case birds, will select, meaning kill, the dark moths, and they won't reproduce, and they will leave the light moths alone, and then they have a chance to grow up and have babies, and they'll have light moth babies. So whatever you are talking about as far as evolution and natural selection, it needs to be something that's inheritable. If you couldn't inherit color, then there would never be a change. But because you can inherit color, light moths have light babies and dark moths have dark babies, then it leads to a change in the population over time. And what I want you to turn in is this graph here. So you got to put your name here, okay, and then click print, but you're not actually going to print it. You're going to get this screen here, and I want you to take a screenshot of that and save that to your computer. And then you're going to upload it into the CamiDoc. So right here, you can go to File, so save it to your computer somewhere, And then I have it on my desktop here, and I just click on that one and I open it, and then I put it here. So I need the screenshot. Your name should be in it because you typed your name in, and I will get your graphs here. And then this one is for the dark forest. So again, you're going to go back to the simulation. Cancel. You're going to go back to the simulation. So click new game, click on dark forest. You're going to play again as the bird, and then you are going to get a graph for that one. And then you are going to upload that as well to the Cami doc. So I already did that one. So just go to my computer, and then wherever you saved it, and then just drop in that screenshot as well. This one's for the dark forest. And then your name should be on that as well. And then you can go ahead and turn that in. Make sure you've answered all the questions here from the reading on the first and second pages.